The results of your proxy-related activities depend on several factors. One of them is how well you manage your proxies. In this video, we will explore 9 tips to make this process easier for you. If you don't manage proxies and your scraper properly, IP addresses from your pool will often get blocked. Even if you're applying a new IP for each request, the same user agent will give you away and get your proxies blocked. The HTTP request header contains quite a lot of information about you and the device you're using. To address this problem, configure your proxies and scraper to send different headers with new requests. It's a widely used practice, and you can even find user agent libraries on the internet. It's easy to tell the visitor's country by their IP address. To not raise suspicion, it's better to use proxies from the same place where the destination server is located. For example, a German e-commerce store that only ships products within Germany will find traffic from the US odd. Infatica offers a very wide range of locations, so you'll never feel limited with our proxies. Every website lays out its rules in terms of use and a special file, robots.txt. Often, these rules outline which content can be used by visitors and how. Also, robots.txt controls crawlers and the pages they are allowed to access. Of course, you can bypass the restriction and get on restricted pages, but it will most likely get your IP address blocked. Referrers tell the site where the user comes from, a source that contained the link to the page. It can be a social media platform or a search engine. The traffic that had no referrer shows up as direct traffic. But this kind of behavior is quite rare, so empty referrers often cause the destination server to block your IP. It's even worse if you set a referrer to be a website that can't really refer so many users. Then the bot activity is very easy to spot. That's why you need to use native referrer sources considering websites you're working with and your location. If your scraper is sending identical requests at an insanely fast pace, the destination server will detect this activity. And a scraper that sends tons of similar requests looks like a malefactor who's trying to put the site down. Raising the number of requests seems logical if you want to speed up data gathering, but in reality, this will only set you back as your proxies will get blocked all the time. Set up a rate limit to make sure your scraper is not sending dozens of requests per second. It's easy to spot a pattern in bot behavior, and servers with advanced anti-scraping measures and protection from attacks can detect these patterns. In this case, you can avoid blocks by setting your scraper to be a bit random. For instance, implement cursor movement, random scrolls, and some clicks. Google has a whole list of search operators, but some of them can trigger CAPTCHAs. A good example of a red flag operator is in title and in URL parameters, as they're often used for scraping content. If you're performing bulk searches, it's better to not use search operators. But if you can't avoid using them, set longer delays, implement more random actions, use more IPs, user agents, and so on. This is an obvious tip that, nonetheless, often remains forgotten. Each new request should have another IP address if you're sending requests to the same server. Otherwise, the site will quickly suspect something and block you. That's why you need quite a lot of IPs for scraping. Any rotation pattern will be useless if you have a small pool of IPs, and you will get all of them blocked eventually. In this case, your vendor should be able to provide you with more proxies. Following these tips, your requests for collecting data at the target resources will be indistinguishable from the regular user's requests. And this in turn will guarantee the maximum success rate without waiting time due to the proxy pool blocking and its next rotation. Try implementing these tips and you will notice the difference. See you in our next video.